We've got updates on the upcoming Superman sequel, Man of Tomorrow, plus multiple other projects here on Movie News Daily today. Let's get into it. What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Welcome back into JC's Movies, where you can see all kind of movie and TV show content with me, JC, especially within the superhero, comedy, and horror genres. So if you enjoy those as well, be sure you hit that subscribe button where we're talking about them a ton here on the channel. Let's talk some movies together. Plus, you get these movie news updates into your feed every Monday through Friday if you subscribe here, which doesn't cost you a penny. And it also doesn't cost you a penny to hit that like button on this video. Giving this video a thumbs up helps it hit that YouTube algorithm so it can find other movie and TV show fans like you and me. Happy Friday the 13th, by the way. Second of 3 Friday the 13th this year. Can't remember another year that had that many in one year. So pretty cool. Hey, maybe watch a little Friday the 13th movie. Maybe you watch the 09. Maybe you watch the OG. Maybe you watch part 4. Maybe you watch part 6. I don't know, some of my favorites there for sure. But, you know, it's a good day to do it. Friday the 13th. And if you don't do it this one, I think that you got to wait until November, I think is the next Friday the 13th in this year. But pretty cool. 3 in this year, and we'll talk a little Friday the 13th momentarily, but main topic, of course, is going to be Man of Tomorrow, as we got multiple updates on it, but plenty of other things to cover today as well on the March 13th edition of Movie News Daily. Let's get into it. Let's lead off with one of the big updates here for Man of Tomorrow, as it's casting news. Excited for this one because this means we're going to get Jon Stewart Green Lantern in the Superman sequel. I'm guessing Guy Gardner will still be around as well. So not one, but 2 Green Lanterns popping up in Man of Tomorrow, most likely now, as Jon Stewart will reprise the role that we'll see him play here in the Lantern series into the DCU with Man of Tomorrow. As Variety shared this yesterday, Aaron Pierre joins the Superman sequel ahead of his debut in Lanterns. Excited for this one. Think he's going to make a great Jon Stewart and can't wait to see him in the Superman sequel. And we also had it confirmed yesterday in a Hollywood Reporter article, as Home of DCU shared this on social media, that Jimmy Olsen, Eve Tessmacher, and the Engineer are all going to return in the Man of Tomorrow movie as well. So this is essentially a lot of the cast that we know of in Man of Tomorrow. DCU update sharing this one on social media. We got the returners being David Cornsweet, Nicholas Hoult as Superman and Lex Luthor, respectively, of course. Rachel Brosnahan back as Lois Lane. Skylar Gisondo back as Jimmy Olsen. Sarah Sampaio back as Eve Tessmacher. Isabella Merced going to return as Hawk Girl. And Maria Gabriela De Faria returning as the Engineer. Frank Grillo back as Rick Flag Sr. And then the 2 new cast members that we now know of thus far for Man of Tomorrow, Lars Eidinger playing Brainiac. So excited to finally get to see Brainiac on the big screen. And then, of course, as we just talked about, Aaron Pierre's Jon Stewart Green Lantern coming to Man of Tomorrow as well. So there's the cast as we know it currently. And with it being Friday the 13th, thought it was a good time to share this from John Squires on social media. Happy Friday the 13th, as I said earlier, but this just is so sad to read. It's now been 17 years and 1 month since we last saw Jason Voorhees on the big screen, of course, not counting the great Never Hike Alone fan films. The previous long stretch of time between Friday the 13th movie was 8 years and 8 months. 17 years, guys. That 09 remake is the last time that we saw Jason Voorhees on screen. Got to do something with it soon on the big screen. I know we're getting the Crystal Lake series, and I'm excited about that. But, man, we need another Friday the 13th movie to sink our teeth into as well. And then we've got the poster release and a release date for a new violent action comedy, supposedly here with a pretty good cast. Samara Weaving, Jason Segel, Timothy Olyphant's in here as well, I believe. It's called Over Your Dead Body, and it'll be in theaters on April 24th. And here is the poster for Over Your Dead Body. Like I said, Timothy Olyphant, Julianne Lewis, joining Samara Weaving and Jason Segel. So great cast there. Hopefully turns out well as we get the poster for the movie ahead of its April 24th release. And then from a project that we know is coming to something that's really intriguing that might be coming. So check this out. This is from Dread Central here on social media. As they state, Hellraiser fans might want to pay attention because Hannibal creator Brian Fuller says he's developing a new TV series with Clive Barker. Interesting. And it's a dream project from his childhood. More interesting, continuing on here, as this is speculation now at this point, but could it be a Hellraiser series? Oh man, that would be so sweet if we get a Hellraiser series from Brian Fuller. I mean, he is working with Clive Barker, but either whatever it is, it's probably going to be pretty good. But here's what we know, as they just have the bullet points here on Dread Central. Brian Fuller's developing a new TV show, collaborating with Clive Barker, and he calls it a dream project, and the details are currently being kept under wraps. Could it be? It's possible, I think. And then Dread Central wraps it up by saying, while nothing has been confirmed, Brian Fuller saying he's working with Clive Barker on a new television series that he hopes to bring to life soon has sparked speculation that the legendary horror creator's Hellraiser universe or another Barker property could be coming to TV. I'm up for it, whatever it is. I got my fingers crossed that it could be a Hellraiser TV series, but I'm sure we'll know about it in the near future. And then lastly, you know how we're wrapping up on Movie News Daily. A little on this day in movie history from my social medias. I share this on Twitter and Instagram every day. And if you want to follow me on X/Twitter, whatever you call it, there's my handle there on the screen. I'd really appreciate that as I try and build up the account there on social media. But on this day in movie history, some movies that came out on March 13th. The Howling in 1981, one of the best werewolf transformations on screen. My Cousin Vinny in 92, another classic. The Final Girls in 2015, underrated slasher/comedy movie. And then The Hunt in 2020, one of my favorite movies of that year. One of the most underrated movies in recent years. Betty Gilpin was such a badass in that movie. But there's some movies that released on this day, on March 13th, as we wrap up today's edition of Movie News Daily. And with today's edition of Movie News Daily in the books, it puts another week of the show into the books as I continue to bring you this Monday through Friday here on the channel and bring you guys some movie news updates. Some good movies coming out this weekend, particularly Undertone. I'm going to hopefully try and get out and get to see that this weekend, get a review up on the channel in the future. Still want to catch Dolly as well. I haven't had a chance to do that, but let me know if you're watching Undertone in the comments, and let me know your thoughts on anything that we discussed in the episode in the comments. Always enjoy chatting movies with you guys, and those interactions help me to continue to grow the JC's Movies channel here on YouTube. Having said that, I appreciate you guys tuning into this one, and I will catch you on the next one.